Hey guys, hope you are doing well as we get ready for life groups kicking off. I know some of you have already met, some of you haven't met, some of you meet different times of the week, but I wanted just to touch base for a minute and share with you a little bit of background as we get into Lamentations and what's going on there. Again, I know this week a lot of you are going to be doing the chart and having people fill that out, but I think it's helpful for us to get our minds around the background as we head into Sunday's sermon and think through what's going on in the biblical text and then how it applies to our lives. So just very quickly, for those of you who are familiar with the text, I get it. You can obviously turn this off, but for the rest of us, let's try to get our minds around this. First, the covenants that are very influential. There's several covenants in the Old Testament, but 4 covenants really stand out, and that's the Abrahamic covenant, the Mosaic covenant, the Davidic covenant, and the New covenant. And the Mosaic covenant was made with a group of people, and it surrounds a nation and their relationship with God. And so even the book of Deuteronomy is written as a covenant treaty that would be very common in the ancient Near East. And in that covenant, it's a conditional covenant based on blessing and cursing. And so, yes, you're in this covenant relationship with me, and as long as you follow me, there's going to be blessings as a nation. But when you violate the terms of the covenant, I'm going to come in and we'll have to devastate you. I'm going to have to discipline you. There's going to be consequences if you don't meet the terms of the covenant. And so we see that happening, and we see the wake of that. So later on, as the nation splits around 926 BC, Israel as a whole nation is split in two. 10 tribes go with the north, 2 tribes stay in the south. And you can read about that in the scriptures. But then eventually, because of their constant evil, they are destroyed. The northern kingdom is destroyed in 722 BC, and then the southern kingdom in 586 BC. By the Babylonian Empire. And it's in the wake of that we really get this book of Lamentations. Now, Lamentations is broken up really into 5 sets of poems. So as we're looking at that book, we need to understand that a lot of the language is figurative, not literal. So that's something helpful to keep in mind too as you're walking people through those texts. I want to read you something I found in a commentary that I found helpful as we just, in our own hearts and minds, get ready to lead these conversations, think about the context. It says the latter half of chapter 3 implies that the purpose behind the books, this is Lamentations, graphic descriptions of sorrow and suffering, was to produce hope in the God whose compassion is new every morning and whose faithfulness is great, even to a people who have been condemned for their own unfaithfulness. And so we see the faithfulness of God despite our faithlessness in this book. And this was some notes I had taken before, that notice even at the beginning of the book that God's patience with sin has a shelf life. I always say it's not a Twinkie. And that we cannot assume that God's past blessings means that he will not judge perpetual sin, because he will. And we need to focus on God and turn and trust to him, especially in the midst of darkness. So as you pray for this week, I hope that's helpful for you. Just want to touch base. If you have any questions, if you're dealing with any issues in your life group, just know I'm available to you. I think you have my cell phone number from the email I've sent out, but I hope you have a great week, and just wanted to let you know I pray for you regularly. Have a great day.